Hey, hey, Rambo.
Hey, hey,
How's it going?
all good, you?
All good. All good over here.
Your eyes okay through the eclipse or what?
I looked right at it.
Yeah.
No, wasn't in the path of the totality this time. I can't have every eclipse, can I? What was it? Mostly like Europe and Spain, and
Well, I didn't see it. I watched the whole thing, but didn't see it wasn't full or it didn't look like what you'd think it'd look like, really.
yeah.
I kind of seen like a rainbow, but I don't know if that was my eyes just burning out. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I could see like a rainbow pattern and that's it, really. I
Did
couldn't
it get
really see
darker
anything
where
getting
you
covered.
were?
Not really, no.
No.
I didn't
Okay.
didn't notice.
You weren't really in the path. So they say if you're in, and I've been in the path of totality
We
once or
should all
twice in
be in
my
the path,
life.
though.
I know.
That's the thing. Should be no path. Like it's that far away.
You know, that's a great point. And we all seem to have our own unique perspective on the sun and moon's location. Like wherever you are is seems to be like a fixed position to the sky. We can all just try this out. Like if you're walking down the road and you're walking along and you're looking up at the sky, like the clouds and the what's in the sky kind of seems to be moving along with you. Then when you stop, it all kind of stops with you. And then you start again and they keep going. There seems to be a specifically personal, a hyper personal perspective that we all can look up at the moon. I mean, they even say it. We all look at the moon and we all see the same moon and it's all available for us. It the math doesn't quite math. I can't necessarily. I'm bad at geography. You guys know that I can't even like name basic major countries and land positionings they're just not my thing. But when I'm trying to think of like the official narrative of the way that the earth is shaped and then we all look up and we see the same face of the moon, like the same side of the moon. And I know that there's something called like a tidal lock where the moon is rotating along with us. And so as we rotate, so too the moon is rotating. And so we actually only ever get that one face. We never get to see the quote unquote dark side of the moon. That just boggles my mind right then and there. Like just that alone boggles my mind.
It does. Like, is that not spinning if we're spinning? Like,
Well, they say it
is
is,
that
but it's like
space?
perfectly. They call it tidal locked. Tidal locked. Tidal, like tide, like with the tides. I don't know if the moon and the tides have anything to do with each other. Everyone says it does. Everyone says, oh, yeah, time and tide. Like the
28
moon follows us.
days.
Yes, the tidal cycles are supposed to coordinate with our female cycles as well. That doesn't really necessarily happen. I don't know. All of these things that we are told have power over. I mean, we give so much credence to the moon. Like, oh, yeah, the moon controls XYZ. Does it? Does the moon have any effect other than us going, ooh,
I sometimes feel like it
ooh?
affects me moods.
I mean, it
But
certainly makes me feel happy when I see a big shining moon out there, you
I
know?
think the eclipse kind of does stuff for us. Like, say it is man-made, right? And the
Yeah.
eclipse is man-made things. It's like everybody says, like, where's the moon? Where's it coming from when it's passing the sun? It
I
doesn't
know. Why don't we see it
come and
until
it
just
doesn't
that
leave.
moment? Yeah. It's like, why is it so transparent
But
if
by
it's a visible
seeing it
body?
yourself and it's covering up the sun in a perfect circle, it kind of confirms a circle in your mind. That's what I feel like it should do.
Yeah.
Like,
And the whole, that kind of brings up that's so interesting because the round, it seems like we only have like two sides of the debate, the round earth versus the flat earth. But both of them, or I'm sorry, ball earth, but flat earth, but both of them could exist on like a round shape theoretically. So like the roundness could be a clue. Like we're told all these possibilities, but I think maybe we are being shown something about the round. I always think of Shakespeare's theater and the round when I think of this world as being round. When we're told this world is around and this world goes around and around, we're told that. Like that's just one of the things. Like we're going around, we're rotating, we're spinning. They tell us that. I cannot help but think of those rotating stages back in the day. Who knows when things really got kicked off, but like 1800s, Shakespeare era, when you've seen his theater in the round, yeah? Like, have you ever passed by that in London? Have you ever passed by his like infamous theater? I've
I probably have, but I don't think.
Probably. Yeah, you didn't stop and go, oh, Shakespeare, Romeo, Juliet, do your thing. No, but I passed by it with my mom and I was like, look over there, that's Shakespeare's place. That's where he did his things. And she's like, oh, cool, let's go get some more white wine. I was like, okay, mom. Um, but I think of this world, all the world's a stage. We're told that too. All back to Shakespeare. That's one of his quotes. All the world's a stage, and what if this stage is one that's rotating, like a rotating circular theater in the round? It's putting all of the things we've ever been told about this place into one, and maybe that's the truth. Maybe that's what's happening. We're like on this rotating stage. Although, depending on which day it is, y'all know I'm not really even convinced that this is like an actual physical, tangible experience. So it doesn't really matter if we're on the stage is rotating, doesn't really matter. It's
I feel like the eclipse kind of shows that because it kind of doesn't look
looks
real.
fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like, and don't you love how everyone puts on those little movie theater glasses to watch the
Oh,
eclipse? Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. And I'm kind of messed it up, but like I've gone down the rabbit hole before, not even rabbit hole, just exploration, line of inquiry of what those glasses are made of. And it's undeveloped film. It's undeveloped film. It's
he's getting the
camera
cereal
film,
boxes. Is it the same stuff that you'd get in cereal boxes, though, for the
probably.
3D? Is that what it's kind of like?
Yeah. Yeah. The 3D glasses are interesting. Those use color. One side is red and one side is cyan on 3D glasses. You get one eye red and one eye cyan. Most people think one eye red, one eye blue. It's not. It's one eye red, one eye cyan, and cyan is the 50-50 mix of blue and green. So you're wearing RGB glasses, just one side is GB and one side is R, and that allows to trick the mind just enough to allow us to see 3D shapes. It's an illusion. It's playing off of our red, green, and blue cones that we have in our eyeballs. Literally every color that we can sense and perceive is a mixture of red, green, and blue inside of our eyes and our brains. That's how 3D glasses work. It's kind of cool. Yeah. RGB. But the eclipse glasses, it's like what you would take, like your Kodak Portra 400 film or whatever. They undeveloped film, you watch the eclipse through that, and I guess it's I, I have so many thoughts on this because I have long felt deeply, and I've said many times on here that there is something very magical about the medium of film, of film itself, in even the compounding of it. It's like this gelatinous magical substrate. I don't even know how it was originally discovered. The story of how they discovered film development, it makes zero sense, and it makes me think it's one of those technologies that was always existing and they just kind of like put it out there and then gave it some weird cover story of someone discovering it, quote unquote, again back in this time of the 1800s when literally everything gets going on. Even Justice von Liebig is pulling out his mirror and going, oh, look at this, look what I just invented. Ah, how amazing. How amazing I look as an inventor in my mirror. It's something seems to really get kicked off during that time. And yeah, and I've always been on a big kick, but one of the images that I have used in every single presentation I've ever done is human vibration. And I need to do more presentations, y'all. That's a little aside to myself, but I needed to create them for Realize Radio and not just for outside parties, because I really love to do them. I just need to do them. But I've always included this one kind of film photography exploration called The Horse in Motion. And it was the first time it was one of the very first series of photographs ever taken, which they're calling a motion picture, because a motion picture is just a series of photographs. Video is no different than photography. It just takes faster photos and stitches them together, and then you think it's a video, but it's really just a series of stills. And I think there's a lesson in that as well. But yeah, this Horse in Motion, just that there's something magical about the capturing of something that can't be experienced by the human eye that in particular, the horse in motion, they had never been able to know if a horse picks up all of its hooves when it's galloping. That was just unknown because the human eye couldn't see that fast. It couldn't it looked like maybe all the feet come up, all those little horseshoes come up at the same time, but it couldn't be confirmed because our eyes can't register that motion, that speed. And so it wasn't until it was photographed in this series of stills, which they stitched together and made it like a motion picture, that they were able to confirm that yes, in fact, little horsies do pick up all of their four hooves when they're galloping. And that was kind of a breakthrough. I don't know why we needed to know one way or the other, what great mystery was solved on that day, but apparently it was a question, and it did get answered by this newfangled photography, this newfangled medium called film. I think there is something magical about film. I think that's the reason that we're told Native Americans didn't want their photographs taken, because it would steal your soul. Perhaps there's some truth to that, because when we are capturing and freezing light, we're light beings, human beings. Hue, Hue, means light. We are light beings, we really are. And photography captures light. Photography is the capturing of light, period. That's what it is. It's the capturing of light. Now, you can explain it every which way to Sunday, but ultimately that's what it is. Just the capturing of light. Boop, easy as that. And so perhaps there is something, maybe our light is captured. And capture, the word, we use capture with photography. That's that literally to take a photo, to capture a photo. Capture is a word of imprisonment. You know what I mean? Capture. To capture a prisoner or whatever. Like, imagine that part of our soul is being captured. Part of us is being captured. Something to think about. And then we're in this, this age of selfies. What are we doing? What are we doing? I had this thought like the other couple episodes ago when I was like, Rambo, I need to look in the mirror less. I think I'm looking in the mirror too much. I'm always like investigating like which pore might have, of my gazillion pores on my skin. I'm like, did that pore change? Did that pore change? I'm like, it's too deep of an investigation. I really don't need to care or see myself in that way. And maybe same thing with like gazing at ourselves from the vantage point of like all these pictures we're taking of ourselves. Perhaps we need to back off. Perhaps we need to back it off a little bit. Perhaps something is being taken. Something is being robbed of our soul.
Well, it stays here, doesn't it? It stays in the cloud. Yeah, with that eclipse, after the eclipse, it was like 1 in 27 years, he said, didn't he?
Yeah.
Every 27 years. I remember where I was on the other one, and so I guess this is probably the last one. But then
you got another 27 years in you, Rambo.
Yeah, the day after, that girl died, didn't she?
Hayden Panettiere.
Heroes girl. Yeah, and it was Heroes was the eclipse.
Yeah.
In the logo.
Yes, it was. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I seen some numbers of it. I didn't get a chance to look properly, but it was like 36 and 360. What was it now? 360 days. 36. How old was she? 36 years old and 360 days.
Yeah. They're showing a bunch of. I've got a few thoughts on it.
It's that hero speaking out, literally a hero in real life speaking out on trafficking, and she said she was trafficked, didn't she? It
really has pulled in the conspiracy community, hasn't it? It
really,
like pretty
immediately. Me going, she's been knocked off. She's been done in off for speaking out in that interview, Yeah. And there's so much of that recently where they're speaking out and that's why they've died,
Yeah. And it makes for a truly compelling narrative, if you believe that, if you're in that line of understanding of, the global elite that are trying to keep these extreme, horrific behaviors a secret, and anyone that threatens that is going to be offed. If you believe that, then sure, every sign, every detail of this story is perfectly crafted to keep you in that mindset. You're not going to get loose. You're not going to get loose. The narratives of this case guarantee you're going to stay in that.
Did he say heart failure or something?
Drugs.
Drugs, yeah, like prescription drugs or
No, hard drugs.
hard drugs.
Yeah,
Because
the
she was
baddies,
with
the
the
bad drugs.
boxer she was with Klitschko, Joe, the brother of the mayor of Ukraine. She was with
Yeah,
Vladimir Klitschko for years and years. I don't know if they've got a kid together. I don't
they
know, or
do.
do they?
Yep, they've got a kid together, and that's also part of the narrative. We've got the Ukraine contingent. You know, did Putin get rid
All
of her?
wedding.
You
Yeah.
know, is she a casualty of the Russia-Ukraine war? You know, or did Volodymyr, what's his name? I don't even remember his name anymore. Zelensky?
Yeah,
Z?
Is he Vladimir as well? I
Yes,
don't
they
know.
both are.
Yeah.
That is so, they just like pronounce it peculiarly, Volodymyr instead of Vlad. So silly. It's the same. They're the same fucking characters. Um, but yeah, because of that, because that's still ongoing in the background. This is one of the. It's like it's pulling in everything. All of these loose strands all around. How many times have we said to each other, like, "Is that Ukraine war still going on? Like, are we still doing that? Is that still happening?" So it does seem like her story is perfectly positioned to reignite some of those kind of cooling embers on the fire. The Ukraine of it all. Like we were forgetting about Ukraine.
I
Not
just went
now.
to open up. I got sent something on and out, and the first thing that flashed up on my page is the Klitschko brothers are an integral part of the Jewish mafia that runs Ukraine.
Oh, now we've got the
Right.
Jews. Okay, we've got
Yeah,
all we've got it
all
all out. Okay, literally everything. The whole
saying
kitchen sink.
she had to hand her daughter over to the
Mm-hmm.
boxer,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's got them with all the pictures holding like this with the hat on and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, it's one of
Something
those that
about it just stinks. I've been seeing a lot of clips of her as like a
think it's that
kiddo.
she's an actor is the key.
Yeah.
She's
There's
literally an
something really
actor.
unnatural about her kid actor appearances. I don't know if this has rung any other
What else was
bells.
she in?
Oh, she was in like Remember the Titans. She was like as a kid actor, as a tiny little kid actor, she was one of those kid actors that's like wise beyond like,
Was she in
it's like a
Nickelodeon?
precocious. No, she was in the movie. She was like big time. Yeah, she was like starring in like these lead kid roles ever since she was a tiny tot. But she was one of those kids, kind of like an Elle Fanning or the Dakota Fanning, who's like almost like an adult in a child's body. Do you know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah,
just they're
like she
they
never really aged.
yeah, like they come out of the womb like ready to do their own taxes, and they're a little bit more adult. They're like adults in kids' bodies. But I've been watching some
That
of her. Oh, go ahead.
that was it. Do you remember Bonnie Tyler died recently as well, and I done a little thing and with the help of Anticoviat
Oh,
about Bonnie Tyler.
yeah.
Bonnie Tyler sang the song "Total Eclipse of the Heart,"
Oh, wow.
and that's
Yeah. A lot of
I knew
Eclipse
I had
stuff
it somewhere.
lately. A lot of Eclipse. I do, I do think I did find something that was very interesting. Back to the Eclipse before we go all in on Hayden Panettiere. Even her last name. Her last name reminds me of Penetrate. Like whenever I see it, Penetrate. And
It's a strange name,
it's
isn't
a
it? Yeah.
strange name. And okay, so back to the eclipse. One thing that I saw over and over, I saw a phrase began to jump out at me with the eclipse that the world was being plunged into darkness, plunged into darkness, plunged into darkness, plunged into darkness. Kept seeing that phrase everywhere. And yeah, we were, the world went dark, but plunged into darkness, something like that word. What
I
does that
think
word
it
mean?
didn't where I was.
Yes, the Rambo, but again, you're not in the totality, baby. You gotta wait till you're in the totality. Your time will come. You'll
Another
come soon.
27 years.
Just go to Spain. Just go to Spain and be there next time. Who knows when the next one? Yeah, who knows? These once in a lifetime eclipses seem to come like every other
On a
year.
quick one, do you remember when I said United are going to win the league?
Yeah,
Like I've been saying for ages. The best season United ever had, ever. They won the treble. This is with the eclipse before we move on.
yeah.
The last time they won the treble, the only time, was 27 years ago when that eclipse
No
happened.
way.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. So
no.
it's due. What are
Yeah,
the chances it's at the start of the season as well when the eclipse happens?
100%. 100%. That's the
I just
chance.
thought I'd add that one in. That was
Love that.
well,
Well,
right.
yeah, 27 years later, what are the odds? That's crazy. The timing of
But
that.
yeah, so we've got another 20. But they have had other ones. I remember when
Yeah.
you captured a picture of
Sure did. Of
a
the actual,
total
of the
one, didn't
total.
you? Yeah.
Of the total one.
Which wasn't really as put out there, but this one was like put out there. Everyone go out and watch it. The other ones are kind of like, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not. But this one, I felt like
And I made my own
everyone was watching
glasses.
it.
I made my smoked glass. That was fun. That was fun to make my own, I said 3D glasses, my own movie theater glasses, my own eclipse watching apparatus was smoked glass. That's how they used to do it in the olden days. But there, again, there's something about that medium to put smoke on glass. Like there's something, a barrier. Like we're creating a magical medium between our eyes and the experience. And I wonder what that is inhibiting or including or it's doing something. It's doing something. I don't know. There's something to it. But the plunging into darkness, that the word plunge means like a forceful displacement. And I have a strange feeling that all of these stories are there, there's some sort of message that's being telegraphed that's larger than the story. And I fully believe that the message that's being telegraphed through the eclipse stories, when the plunged into darkness, is a forceful, we are being moved along towards, I feel like, some sort of inevitable brink, some sort of tipping point, some sort of point of no return. I don't know, and I think it's a good thing. So before you guys go, oh no, that sounds real scary. I think it's like the literally the best thing that could ever be. I don't know what that is, but I am nothing but positive about it. I just have a feeling that we are being propelled in a positive way towards an inevitability. Like it's always there's an inevitability that's always existed on the event horizon, on the distant horizon, but now it's getting closer and closer. We are nearing some important point. And I think that these stories are telegraphing that. I feel like we are being forcefully displaced again, like out of our positions, out of potentially neutral positions and into more advantageous positions on this grand board, on this grand, I'm doing chess right now, so I'm pardon if I start to include chess metaphors, but on this grand game board, I feel like our position is being advanced. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Some sort of we're being forcefully displaced, forcibly placed into a new position. I really, really, really have been feeling messages coming through. I've been sharing them a lot on my HV Insta. If you guys aren't following my HV Insta, I'm not really too active on socials these days. I'm not like posting on Twitter. I'm not posting on Insta, but I am very active in my stories on Insta. So follow along if you will, if you wish. But I've been really feeling these words bubble up and like speak to me and like kind of, I don't know, just my schizo brain is on fire right now. And yeah, I do think that these eclipses are opportunities for us to kind of see beyond, see through the artifice. It does look kind of fake.
Fake, like
If you can get around the awe, like the dazzlingness, like the awe, the the wonderment. And I think that we should be in states of awe and wonderment of our world. This is a fantastic, magical, beautiful realm. I'm not saying we should never carry a sense of awe in our hearts, but like some of these events where we're being forced into a state of awe or projected upon us some wonderment or whatever. We're being told how amazing and da, da, da. Like these, I think we should scrutinize. Those
don't
ones,
you
I
think
think we
it's
should
funny how
scrutinize.
people know the exact minute that it was due to fully cover
Yeah,
the
I think
sun?
that's a little
Like
suspicious.
I do. Like, how would you know the
Mm-hmm.
exact minute that it's coming? Like I think it was like 10 past 7 here. They said it would be
Yeah.
fully across. Wow.
It's a little suspicious. Yeah, it's a little suspicious. It seems that right there makes me think like it's like a choreographed dance, you know, with everything almost like a Russian ballet. Those players don't miss their marks. They are right on time. They're pirouetting down to the freaking millisecond in in coordination with each other, you know? I do feel like, again, back to the rotating stage, I feel like we are witnessing some sort of, with these celestial displays, we're witnessing a cosmic dance. In addition to the eclipse on that day, we had some sort of crazy meteor shower. We had some sort of impossible planetary alignment. What's going on?
Did
Why
you
is the
stay up
sky
for any
so
of the
obsessed
others?
with us? It's like,
I
look at
didn't.
me, look at me. The sky's being really pick me and try hard right now. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't stay up for any of it. Did you? Anything else
No.
after the eclipse? I didn't. I just
Mm-mm.
walked in. I was like, "Oh, is that it?"
Is that all you got?
Yeah, was that it? All
Try
that for that.
harder.
Everybody was out, neighbours out, all some with the glasses, some just sunglasses. Just everybody was out watching it, and I was like,
Do
"Soon as
these
that, is that
events
it?"
do these events show how robotic and
It
groupthinky we are?
it gave me NHS clapping vibes. So everybody
Mm,
clapping for the
banging on those
medical
pots and
workers, and
pans.
yeah, that's what it kind of felt like when I was out, and all the neighbours were out watching it.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. These
That's
mass
what I thought
events.
of. It's like that last time I seen this was when we were all clapping and banging pans. Yeah.
Clapping like maniacal, like circus seals. Or. Dumb.
I
Fauci's
do
back in
feel
the
like
news.
is
Speaking of
he
COVID, yeah. I
he's
mean, people
back in
are like,
again?
execute Fauci. The big thing right now is like, none of this is real. None of this is real. But the big narrative out right now is that the COVID vaccines caused a waterfall, an avalanche of miscarriages of women who were pregnant, they got the shot, and then they were no longer pregnant. I don't believe those stories. I don't. I believe those stories as much as I believe the died suddenly stories. I believe those stories. Okay, I believe those stories as much as I believe people died from COVID. Zero. I believe those stories as much as I believe the people dying from the vaccine. Zero. I believe those stories as much as I believe the people that got the myocarditis and they're fainting in the streets after all of it. Every single narrative that has ever flowed from this fucking COVID thing is supposed to make you fear for your life. Fear for your life, and then look back and go, what have I done? What have I done? You know?
Oh, for taking the vaccine, like
Yeah.
that seems to be the thing, doesn't it? Like
Regret.
I'm glad I didn't take it and stuff. But the thing that gets me with that is pretty much all of us have had a vaccination as a baby.
We're all fine. We're all
So
fine.
yeah, so like,
Spoiler alert.
now be why would we queue up for it? Like we all, if it was poison, right, we're gonna poison everyone. It does poison the water supply, wouldn't you? Like you wouldn't really go. I know, I'll make them queue up for a
Yeah.
vaccine
If they
that they've
wanted
already
us
had when you
dead,
were born.
if they
It doesn't
wanted us
make
dead, we'd all be
sense.
dead. Easy as that. Truly. If they wanted us dead, we would be dead.
They want us against each other, though.
Yeah.
That's the difference in it, like, and that's what's
Poisoning
happened
our
with it.
minds. Yeah, it's a slow march towards death. And all the time we're just poisoning we're just taking the poison bit by bit. We are taking the poison, but it's not a physical, it's not an ointment that's getting dropped onto our tongues or a syringe being inserted into our arms. It's the information we're putting into our brains. That is the poison. That is the poison that's being slow dripped all day, every day, from the moment we are born till the moment we expire. We are being poisoned. We're being programmed and poisoned, which it's toxic what we're allowing into our brains, all these narratives. And just, right now, this is kind of switching gears, but right now we are just gummed up by this one murder trial. This Clancy, this woman, I'm trying not to even like get into deep into the details of this. Have you heard about this? This is a woman who like killed all her kids, and the husband's like
No,
the husband
um,
basically is like laughing on he looks really slimy. All the courtroom stuff makes it seem like he's guilty. Literally everything about it is lushy. This mom was experiencing postpartum and some sort of like borderline personality disorder, which Hayden Panettiere also struggles with a postpartum situation and potential borderline personality. And they're like comparing the two now that these cases are both front and center. And everyone's saying like you can't you can't fault this woman, even though she's like admitted to killing her kids. Like, you can't say anything negative about her because she was suffering from a mental situation and da 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 da. And like, no matter what side you're on, and it doesn't, none of it is real, but it has become the true crime case of the time, of the timeline. It has taken over the US. I mean, I'm surprised it's not swallowed up the whole world by now, but everybody's talking about it. All the parent groups are up in arms about it. All the females are on, they're picking either support her or like condemn her, or it's again, like, never the twain shall meet. Like, there's two sides, for and against, and there's just a lot of bickering and infighting in between. I don't even really know what the details are. It's just, other than it being like really kind of sick and twisted and sad, and now she's on trial. I've just noticed some visual. Oh,
I'll watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, they're already coming out with a major podcast about it. It's going to be a documentary. I've shared some things in the Realize Radio Discord that I've seen visually as it's come out. Not getting into the details too much of this case. I'm not trying to crack it open. I'm just trying to see what I see on the surface. One of the things that I have noticed, and I want you guys to just be aware of this. I want just have an awareness towards this now. Every single picture of this woman is shown in a perfect side profile. Nearly 99%. Just look it up. Look up her name. I can't remember her first name. Let's see. Clancy is the last name. Let's Clancy trial. What is her first name? Lindsay Clancy. Okay. Just look up, go to Google Images. Type in Lindsay Clancy. Type in Clancy trial. Whatever you type in. Nearly every single photograph of this woman is perfectly
side on. The first one that came up. Side on.
Perfectly. I started to clock that. I started to notice that, like, I don't know anything about this case. I don't know anything about this woman. I don't know anything about anything except
it's all side on.
It's all
every news article I've clicked on is a side on photo.
All of them.
Why aren't they doing drawings like they normally do?
Right? That's a good question. Why aren't we getting the cartoons? Because this is already a cartoon. Right. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It is. Anything I've clicked on up to now is side on.
Side on. And her nose looks very strange. And there are a few that you can find. It looks so bizarre. There is like one or two that you can find of it being straight on, and it looks like the worst fake nose. It looks so unnatural. I've never seen a nose like that in my entire life. It looks very odd. And it almost looks like her nose is like growing, like on the side profiles.
Look fake.
It does look fake.
The sides.
And you know what I think this is? I think this is a direct representation. Again, this story has nothing to do with the story. This story is just projecting or telegraphing a larger message. And I think this story is projecting the public knows. KNOWS.
I've just gone through 5 or 6 different articles and all
of them.
Side on.
All of them.
Even the videos.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel these patterns, but I feel them. They strike me. And this is what I was supposed to see. There's also like a very prominent freckle on her cheek. This is also something I shared on the Discord. On a lot of the side profiles, you will get a very prominent, you see that freckle?
Yeah, but she done it in 2023. She's now aged 26. Now aged 36, so she was 33 at the time of the killings.
She was Rambo. What are the odds?
Yeah.
But even that like dark freckle that kind of like exists on the side of her cheek that's just kind of boop, that reminds me of motion tracking VFX, how they put like black dots all over the face when they're doing these sophisticated like motion tracking for facial animation, like character, when they're like basing a character's, for like an animated movie, when they're basing the character's own visuals off of the base actor playing them, they can kind of track the motion on the face. Anyway, a lot of it's just pointing to VFX. I honestly, guys, I came across the note. I came up with the
The
nose
nose
thing
is
when
a.
I was with you in London the first time when we were walking around and
It
seeing all the
looks strange
statues.
from front, and I found the front
Oh
on
yeah,
video.
look how wide, like it's too
Why?
wide.
Wouldn't like to share a bag of cocaine with her.
Shucks. No sharing. There's no way that nostril can share Rambo. One sniff and that baggie is gone. That baggie is gone. I don't really like cocaine jokes, but I'll allow it.
I thought I'd
I'll
have
allow
to.
it.
It's
I'll
the only
allow
one I
it.
know.
I'll allow it just this once because that nose is hungry.
But yeah, it
Um,
does look very fake and either it looks stuck on really, like those medical ones that you stick over. Do you know?
it looks, yeah, it's just missing the little round glasses and the mustache beneath to be one of those fake, like, disguise glasses. It's okay. But I came up with something about nose, like the nose on our face, connecting with nose and knowing and knowledge when we were in London and we were walking around and all the statues everywhere didn't have a nose, remember? And we were like,
Yeah,
hmm,
they'd all had it replaced. Like
yeah,
they either didn't have one or they had like
a bad
a
replacement.
new
Like
build.
it was
Yeah.
stuck on with freaking bubble gum. And I'm like, this is a statue of the queen and we put it on with bubble gum? I'm like, okay. Okay. Maybe we should spend less on the crowns and more on the statue repair. Um, but I had this kind of epiphany that the lack of noses, the noticeable lack of noses, or the horrific repair on those noses, but kind of like signaling the lack of the nose beneath, was a symbol of the public not knowing. No nose. No nose. The public does not know. No one knows. No knows. Now we know. More and more and more are on to the idea that none of this is real. That these stories are just fictional bedtime stories to keep
I
us
think that's
locked in a
part of it.
slumber.
So even that Hayden thing now, and people saying, "Oh, it's because of the elites and stuff." I think that's still part of it because you have to get in somehow. So you know what I mean? You have to be at at some point. You have to go. Oh, it's all real, and that's all happened. That maybe that's like to invite even more people into the trail of, hey, none of this is real. Do you know? You have to start off. It has to be real at the start, doesn't it?
One of these stories is going to break it for all. Like for me, it was John Bonet. I'm not. John Bonet was really only that one was meant for me. That one was. I think that one was meant for me to crack and understand, and that was like my skeleton key. But like it's gonna be it's gonna be a story that's like worldwide. I keep wondering. I thought maybe it was going to be this Brian Koberger case, which has kind of completely fallen apart, and it seems ridiculous. I kind of thought that maybe the public was going to be able to see through that. No, this particular case, which makes zero sense, like the details make zero sense. And that's what's creating all this opportunity for people to be like, oh no, the husband did it now. Or like all these, because the narrative, like the timeline doesn't make any sense. It's like physically impossible for any of these, not without getting too into it. Like there's this timeline that the defense is arguing and it's like kind of an impossible timeline. All of the details of this case aren't impossible because it's not real. It's all made up. And I keep wondering and waiting. There needs to be a case that is like proven in such a way that is undeniable. The fakery needs to be
I think it's
undeniable.
going to be have to be something with space, whether it be aliens or a spaceship blowing up,
Come
something that
on.
everybody's got to look at. Like
Where
it's
are the
got to be
aliens?
something like that. I know every year, and it's a
Come on.
yearly
All
thing now,
right
but
already. All right already. We're ready. We're ready.
that's as big as I think it has to get for everybody to look. You know, 'cause it's got something for everybody wants to know what's going on up there. Do you know?
What's going on? Exactly. We all want to know.
And
That's the and that's the thing, Rambo. Everybody wants to know what's going on. We need an explanation. And like the official explanations They are designed to kind of boggle the mind, kind of stun us into a stupor, like give us so many convoluted details, give us so many impossible explanations that we just go, okay, hmm,
Sounds complicated.
this
Yeah,
is
leave that.
okay. We're spinning out. Okay. Even though things seem kind of still okay. Okay. I guess. Yeah, just like to keep us from ever. There's so much detail. It truly boggles the mind. It truly cripples our logic board. Truly. There's so much logic we cannot even parse it out. And logic, I think a lot of people are actually thinking logically. Being logical does not mean being correct. Being logical just means you are following a rules-based system that you have been given. You are following that, you're adhering to rules. That's being logical. It says X then Y, then Z then A then B, and that is logic, and that is the logic you've been fed, and that's the logic you are following. That doesn't mean you end up at a factual, true conclusion. It just means you're following logic. Logic can absolutely be incorrect. If the rules of the logic are flawed, then you can be logical and still be incorrect. I should have shared an example of that, but I can't come up with an example to really illustrate my point. But I guess the example just is the world. That is the example. The world we are living in, following the logic of the earth is rotating around the sun, and then that's rotating, and then the moon is rotating around us. And all the while we are hurtling through space. In addition to our own little rotation and then we're going around the sun, and then the moon's going around that, and then all of that, plus, sorry, I got a little heated, plus a cajillion miles an hour rotating through all of this whole solar system itself is hurtling through space together. Like I can't even, my brain breaks down at the first couple of words on that. Like my brain just goes, does not follow, I guess. Like, sure, whatever they say, whatever you say, and I can't compute it. I can't compute, our position in this
Believing
grand
that
galaxy.
over what you can actually see with your own eyes and what you feel like the common sense of it all is that you're told to question that. What
That's
we can
very
all
1984.
see
Yeah. To question what we see with our own eyes. Although, Rambo, I also question what we see through our own eyes. We're taking in this world through a very flawed delivery system. We're told that our eyeballs, we're told that our eyes work a lot like cameras, back to the camera talk. We're not just a lot like cameras, our eyes work exactly like cameras. And they say like a camera takes an image and flips it around, then flips it back, and and that's what our eyes supposedly do. Our eyes supposedly take in this world, flip it around, reverse it, and then send it back to our brain right side up. What? Why would it need to do that? Why? Like what? That does not make any sense. Why are all these impossible corrections and calculations happening through our eyes? And who knows what programming I think that our eyes are essentially like a VR headset that's pre-installed into our brain. How do we know that this is giving us a true and accurate representation of the world in front of us? Sometimes when you take like a psychedelic or something, or like the veil is lifted for a moment, and like maybe that's the truth. Maybe like this kind of walls melting experience is how it actually always exists, but that's just too wild. Like we couldn't get through our days like that, and so our brain is like correcting. Okay, this is a good one. Back to nose. This just shows how much our brain connects. You have a nose between your eyeballs. Can you see it? Right now, can you see your nose, Rambo?
When you look at it, you can't you? But you're not really.
Kind of. When you concentrate on it, and you have to concentrate on it. You have to think, okay, I know my nose is in front of my eyeballs. Where is it? and then it'll kind of come into view. Like a little bit of the side might
Yeah,
come
once
into
you
view.
think of it, it
Once you
comes
think of
into
it.
view, yeah.
But 99.9999999% of your day-to-day life, you do not register your nose. Your brain goes, that is too much information to constantly be taking in, to constantly be going, oh, there's my nose. Oh, there's my nose. Oh, that's my nose. Oh, there's my nose. So it just eliminates it, just erases it from you, just erases it from your calculation, erases it from your field of view, erases it just so you don't have to think about it because it's just too much. It would be too distracting. So your brain goes, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. She doesn't need that. She does not need to know that. So, that is something that that should make us all go, huh, I wonder maybe what else is being corrected by our eyeballs. Our senses, we rely on our senses to tell us the truth of this world, but is that a great way to do it? Do my eyes accurately represent the visual field before me, or is it just a sliver? Do my ears allow for the audio aural range around me, or is it just a sliver? Does my skin suit, my haptic suit, essentially talked about being the VR headsets, we got them, our eyes, a haptic suit that allows you to kind of feel the VR world, we got it, it's our skin. Skin is the largest organ, and every single square inch of this skin is recording information, taking it all in, registering information at all times. But is the response a true response? I feel this table. I talk about this a lot, but I can't not talk about it because it feels like something we need to know. I feel this table, and it feels like wood, and I feel the wall, and it feels like wall. I can feel the texture of the drywall on the wall, but I can conjure that in a dream too. In a dream, the few times I've ever been lucid, I try to touch the thing around me, and the desk, by God, it feels like desk. It feels as physical as it would in the real world. The wall feels as physical as it would in the real world, and it makes me go, good God, what is the real world if I can conjure these sensations
It's like
in
real
dreams?
for us, like some sort of computer code that's real for us because we're part of this.
Yeah, feels real. It feels very real. But is it? Is it? I as much as I use my eyes and as much as I use my ears, and I do think that these are, I'm not saying gouge your eyes out and cover your ears because like we need these tools, guys, we do. But I want us to always be aware that we can be tricked. We can be tricked. Optical illusions exist
I was
simply to
going to
show us. Yeah.
say that when you said about, no, do you remember those illusions of like two faces? Is it two different faces that
Yeah.
are as what, and your eyes will make its own face out of
Yeah.
those?
Depending on what you see too, like depending on your own
So your peripheral
biases.
vision just makes a face.
Yeah, well, peripheral vision is so interesting because peripheral vision is an approximation. Peripheral vision is not actual vision. It is your brain
Creating
estimating the
something,
next
yeah.
frames. Yeah, the next frame. So it is making its best educated guess based on the context clues, based on everything it's been fed. Your brain will give you the next frame of motion. Doesn't mean it's accurate. It doesn't mean it's real. It just is your brain making its best guess
Do you
on.
remember them flicking dot ones and stuff for your eyes doing the same then, innit? Oh, the green dot. Is it because they're flicking around so fast your eyes just like, right, that one's green? Is that
Yeah,
what it's
in that
doing? Like,
negative space. Yeah, that dot that kind of goes around and around. There's countless optical illusions that will make you go, holy guacamole, you know?
is that the same as it works in like you say, an illusionist? Is that what they have cracked then? Like that our eyes can pick up on, or what our eyes will create based on a
Yeah,
various
I think
things,
illusionists, great question. I think illusionists are working off every fallibility of the human system. They know how our ears can be tricked. They know how our eyes can be tricked. They know how to capture attention, the look over here, not over there sort of thing that any magician will utilize, as he's dangling his left hand up over here with some shiny something.
Yeah, they know everybody's
Mm-hmm.
looking over there, or for whatever it might be, a color that takes your eyes over there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not saying look over it, but there's something over there where he knows your brain is looking that way. And like you say, that's how the news is working. And I think that's
Absolutely.
how the whole world is working. Like it's all
It's
some
an
sort of
attention
trick of the
economy.
mind.
Yeah, we live in our attention economy. I've said since day one, the most precious resource in this realm, it's not oil, it's not diamonds, which the market on diamonds has crashed, by the way, which is interesting because they're always been valueless.
Oh, I seen that the other day. Yeah, I thought like
Hmm. Yeah,
they
it's like the
can't.
lowest it's ever been. Yeah, diamonds are basically dirt now. It's crazy. Um, I mean, it's
That's
always just
another
been,
tell though, isn't it? Yeah, because they've
yeah,
always
just
told us about
carbon.
lab diamonds, but then aren't diamonds so expensive because of everybody who dies
They're
for them?
all, that's the blood
There's nobody
diamond.
dying for them anymore.
Nobody, if they ever did. And, yeah, the whole narrative is scarce around scarcity, and it's all fake, just like oil. Just, if there's no scarcity of oil, it's just a narrative and a controlling mechanism called OPEC. Same thing with the diamonds. There's no scarcity. It's just a control system and an operating mechanism called De Beers. All of it. It's copy paste, rinse repeat. It's the same process over and over of the hand on the hose controlling supply, and that's what manipulates the market. But the real prize is our attention. That's the real economic driver. That's the real get. At the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters is our focused attention. Why? Because where our attention goes, our energy flows. And that's what they want. That's what's needed. And doesn't even matter. Like the system.
And
The
is
system
something feeding from it? That's the thing, because why would it all be for nothing in it? Like, because
we're
I believe in
powering the
energy.
system.
Yeah, so
It's
it
powered by us.
must
It
be
needs us. It needs our
going
attention.
somewhere.
Yeah. We we're it. Like we are not necessarily it just seems like we're the audience of this, but we're everything. We're everything. We're the
We're the
create
audience and the creator.
Yeah.
We're
We're the
both.
audience and the authors. And we have too long been been
Oh, sorry.
we got too comfortable in
Got
our
mute.
audience seats, and we forget that we're actually the authors of this
Yeah.
experience. And author is an interesting word because authoring is something that also happens in like the digital realm. I used to have to this might be a throwback to someone this is like ancient technology now, but I used to have to burn DVDs. I used to have to like in my job, we'd create all these like visual videos and all this stuff and like as a takeaway or as a deliverable back in the day, instead of just like electronic file delivery as being the end all be all, we would also have to like burn DVDs with all the media and material. And we had this like crazy machine. It was called like a DVD authoring machine, and that's what we would like program the opening menu of the DVD. And there was just all this thing. They're like, but authoring, and that's just a word that it has double meaning. It's not just again, but it's not just like when we talk about scripting. Scripting and authoring kind of have a same. You'd think that it's only like with like a books or dialogue for a play. An author writes a script. Yes, that is true. That exists on one side of the definition, but on the other side of the definition, it's all about computers and computational rigging. It's authoring and scripting. Scripting as in auto executing computer code. This language, this dual language, is in front of us, I think, for a reason, and ultimately, it just gets down to the word, like down to coding. And I think that language is an encoding system. We're in some sort of computer game. I don't know if there's ever going to be a way to quote unquote prove it, but we are being shown every which way to
I think we
Sunday.
find out when we die. I think
Yeah.
that's what the only way you find out. When it comes to the end, you'll know what it was all along.
And that's kind of a happy way to look at it. If I can keep that in my heart, I don't think that I will fear death. Like if I know if I can, and we'll never know. Like nobody's ever gonna know until they're gone. But if I can just keep that in my heart, that all will be revealed, it just makes it less.
Yeah, you got nothing to fear with it, have you? You
Oh,
know?
yeah. I just don't want to see my scorecard at the end. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, those 20s, girl, you deducted some points. You got some points deducted." And I'll be like, "Well, what about all my stuff with HV and trying to save the world? Doesn't that give me any bonus points?" They'll go, "No, no." I'll go, "Oh, damn it." Well, you never know. I do want to see. I would like to see the movie. The movie of your life at the very end. I want to
Oh
run that
yeah.
back.
Like you
Yeah,
say, some say that we already are in it. We're in it right now. Don't you?
yeah.
That's your memory of it.
As I look over my shoulder to the invisible camera that's always following me. I do that. Like whenever, I've talked about this before. I do think that synchronicities, like syncs or winks from the universe, and something that I have started to do. I've been doing this for about a year now, but I wink back. I just give myself, when I see a sync that is like so clearly right there, it's so clearly a sync, and I'm like, oh my God, that's impossible. When I see those things, I wink. I wink at it because
Like,
I
you
want
see it.
yeah. Or I do this little thing like the kids are doing today, clock it, where they take their little, they go like that with their thumb and their
Oh
pointer
yeah.
finger, clock it. I do that too, just to let the universe know that I've clocked that. Like I just do a little, this is all for myself. Nobody needs to see me. People are probably like, God, that girl has an eye infection. She's winking all the time. Like, what is going on? You know? But it's more of I want to be in communication with this place. I want to open myself up as a recipient. I'm a medium for the message. I am a medium for the message, and I want to be available. Something that I've started doing, I'll talk about this maybe on the next show, but something that I've started doing is I've started waking up at 3 a.m. and I make myself available. I don't have a, I wake up I set my alarm for 2:45. I get up at 3. I don't have a set agenda. One day I just lit a candle and kind of meditated. The next day I just sat on my sofa and just kind of all these keywords just sort of bubbling up, and I just wrote them down as they bubbled up. One of the words I didn't even spell, it's not even a word. I spelled it completely wrong, but that doesn't matter. Like it's my 3 a.m. brain just feeding me little things, and I don't need to necessarily make sense of it. I just need to be available. And today I laid in bed. I lit a candle and just laid in bed, but while I was like I was very conscious of like I'm not laying in bed to fall asleep. I'm laying, and I even closed my eyes,
To
but I was like, this is
think.
more to think. Yeah, I was like, this is my thinking. I don't have to be doing anything physical. Like this world right now that I'm existing in is in is like I'm in the jungle gym of my mind right now. And I'm just letting my body relax, but my mind is very, very, very active. And so that's what I did today. So I've only I'm day 3. I'm acting like this is some big thing that I've started to do. I'm on day 3. So,
Still.
but yeah, it's just something I don't know why. I don't know. I do know that the hour between 3 and 4 has historically been known as the witching hour. They say that this is the time when the veil between worlds, the veil between this life and the great beyond, between life and death, is the thinnest. The veil is the thinnest between 3 and 4 a.m. And if you read biographies of like artists and philosophers, you'll see many of like Da Vinci had this sacred time between 3 and 4 a.m. where he felt that he was available for inspiration to strike. Like that's when he would have his most productive work. And you can find, and like witches supposedly do all their witchy stuff between 3 and 4 a.m. So there's just something about this time, and it's kind of an unclaimed hour. Like I've never done anything in this hour before. I don't really have the ability to carve out other time in my schedule. But this is something like I do have the ability to do this. I'm literally carving out space. And they say the universe abhors a vacuum. If you create space, the universe will fill it. And so I've been just creating some space between 3
Quiet
and 4
time as
a.m.
well. It's
Quiet time.
quiet everywhere.
And then I go back to bed. And I don't
I was
even
gonna
need to
say to go back to
go
sleep
right
or
back to
yeah.
sleep for another couple hours. Yeah. And I have found that I'm able to get back to sleep. I don't have a hard time tossing and turning. I'm able to go right back to sleep. So I'm not worried about that. I've actually found that it gives me an energetic boost in general. I have felt very energized in the evenings despite having this hour carved out that should be sleep. I found that my dream recall has improved because I'm kind of I'm kind of interrupting, I think, like that time when you are active and dreaming, and so I'm kind of pulling myself out of the dream when I can remember it, and like going back into the dream when there's just something, I don't know, like I don't have any major aha moments or anything of this other than I am just trying something new. You never know. It's little
You never
things.
know.
You never know. And yeah, we're gonna see what this carving out
You have to bring your
creates.
notes on.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. Here, let me go get my notebook real quick and I'll just read some buzzwords. Hold on.
HV's just gone to get the notepad.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
They just popped into your head.
yeah, they
These.
did, but okay, after I didn't make this connection until the daytime, but I'm realizing that many of these buzzwords came directly from I was rewatching Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, the first one, and I'm realizing a lot of these words
That's
came
where I
from
got it from. Yeah.
yes. I'm like, what is the connected? I wrote down I wrote down what is deep water, because there was like the submarine scene and they had referenced deep water, like we're now initializing into deep water. We need to find deep water, and I was like, what's the actual definition of deep water? How deep is deep water? Deep water also reminded me of Deepwater Horizon, that really, really, really tragic explosion on a deep water rig. I have to get my mom on here to talk about this one time because my dad was actually working on that rig. He was relief for the rig. Like had it been the other 30, like he worked 30 days off, 30 days on, 30 days off, 30 days on. And when you're off, anyway, he was off that. He could have been exploded. My dad could have died in that Deepwater explosion. So, but that reminded me of like Deepwater Horizon. And I think that all was some sort of message being telegraphed through. I need to do a deep dive on deep water. A word I wrote down was interlocutor. Interlocutor. I wrote it down. I don't even know if it's a real word, and I spelled it completely wrong. But and I circled it a million times. But for some reason, that was a really big word in my brain.
Yes.
I don't
Not
know.
one you hear every day.
And when I looked it up, interlocutor, I don't think
It's
this
an
is
actual word.
an inter, but I don't know. I think that there has to be another definition. I'm just spelling it wrong. But this is like interlocutor, a person who takes part in dialogue, conversation, or formal discussion. But that's not, derived from the Latin word interloqui, or interloqui, which means to speak between. Maybe, and I don't know if that word. I don't think that I looked on the movie transcript, and I did not see that word on there. So that must be a different word that just came up. But like the speaking between, inter meaning between, and loci meaning to speak. It reminds me of like reading between the lines, which with like these news stories, like what's the real message? But that's the thing. Like we don't even need to read between. Everything is so clearly being projected. We don't need to read. We don't need to interpret.
It's
We just
right
need,
in our
it's right
faces, isn't it?
there.
Yeah.
It's right there. I wrote down the word cement. Cement is a longtime fascination of mine. I wrote down ghost in the machine. I wrote down dizzy spells and epilepsy spells. People call them dizzy spells. And I was like, what does that mean? I wrote down the word stigmata. These are just words that came into my
Just that
brain.
into your brain at that
Yeah.
time.
And I'm not trying to make heads or tails too much of these, but I'm just trying to make myself available.
Maybe one day it will. Like,
Yeah,
one
maybe
night
one
it
day
might
it will.
all connect.
I'll be like, aha, interlocutor.
Yeah.
All right, Rambo. Well, this is a good one. We've got a RER group Zoom next Thursday.
Thursday.
Let me make sure I get the
27th.
Thursday the 27th, and we're doing that, 6 p.m. London time. 6 p.m. London time. Everyone just check your schedules against 6 p.m. London time. It's also 12 p.m. Dallas time, Central time. It'll be a good one. Yeah. And we're doing it on a Thursday, so a little bit different than our previous ones, which we've had on
Yeah.
weekends. We'll move it around. We'll continue to move these around. Oh, I'm excited to announce we're going to have another listener spotlight. I'm not going to announce who it is. Rambo, it's someone that we've been trying to get on, and
Yeah.
she's finally agreed. Yay. So we'll announce that
Yay.
soon. We'll record that and announce that. I'm so excited to get back to our listener spotlights. Those are really
It's
special,
been a
and it's
while.
been too long. Too long, Rambo. All right. Well, this was a great run, Rambo. Talk soon.
Good one. Talk soon. Take care.